Based on the Broadway musical of the same name, which is in turn based on the novel Wicked: The Life and Times of the Wicked Witch of the West by Gregory Maguire, Wicked Part 1 is the first part in a two-film series that tells the story of Elphaba Throp and her journey to being deemed wicked by the citizens of Oz. The movie also showcases her relationship with Glinda and how the two go from enemies to unlikely friends. I had lost almost all hope in Broadway musical film adaptations. Joel Schumacher's Phantom of the Opera, Tom Hooper's Les Miserables, and of course, Cats, also by Hooper, were left to be desired by me personally. Usually in the realm of unimaginative directing, bland visuals, uncanny effects, and tons of actors who could not sing. Then Wicked was announced, and it was to be directed by John M. Chu, who did one of my favorite romantic comedies, Crazy Rich Asians. And then the casting was announced, with people such as Cynthia Erivo, Ariana Grande, Jeff Goldblum, Michelle Yeoh, and so on. These were people I was curious to see, but still, I was cautious because Wicked is my personal favorite Broadway musical. I read almost all of L. Frank Baum's Oz books. I've read the Gregory Maguire Wicked book. I have loved the 1939 Wizard of Oz film all my life, and Wicked is the reason I became interested in musical theater. Now, with all that background out of the way, how did this film fare? So far, it's my absolute favorite film of the year, and I am aghast at how good it is. You may laugh or chuckle that this, of all things, has been my favorite thing of the year. And true, I've not seen as much as last year, but on a personal and critical level, Wicked Part 1 is almost too good to be true. On a director's level, it's very impressive. There's something happening in every shot of the film. John M. Chu knows where to block the actors, have the camera showcase everything, and to visually tell the story in an imaginative way that is both familiar and new to people who have and have not seen the show. I couldn't stop marveling at the world building of the land and politics of Oz as well. There are numerous messages throughout the film, such as discrimination, authoritarianism, propaganda, fear mongering. People have often looked at Baum's books through a political sense, and I won't do that much here, but I will say it made me slightly chuckle when I finally saw the irony of the goat character, Dr. Dillamond, fighting for animal rights who was then arrested. He is a literal scapegoat. Okay, that's all fine and dandy, but how is the singing and acting? For the most part, everyone is doing a great job, specifically our two leads. Erivo and Grande are magnificent in the roles of Elphaba and Glinda. Not only are both highly skilled and talented singers, that's without question, but we see the way they communicate through small gestures such as facial expressions, body language, the way they say their lines, and even through something as simple as tears. Before I get into my critiques, I'd like to compliment the makeup and wardrobe department. Seriously, these two aspects of the film were extraordinary, and they will almost no doubt at least be nominated for awards. Surely I have no problems with this film, right? Wrong. I have slight critiques. I don't think this needed to be this long. At first, I was even skeptical of it being two parts, but having seen the finished product, I don't know exactly what scenes should have been taken out. It could certainly have been trimmed, but each story point is pretty important. Regardless, there are moments where it feels like they are stalling for time with singing, such as in Defying Gravity, where the song sometimes takes a break for action or pauses. That seemed unnecessary to me. The last thing I'll say, and I really hate to say this, but I was a little let down in Jeff Goldblum as the wizard. Sure, he's not in it that long, and there is more time for him to develop, but singing and acting wise, I kind of compare it to Emma Watson's casting and acting in the live action Beauty and the Beast film. On paper, it's ideal and inspired casting, but when you see it in motion, it's as if they're not really into it. Maybe with part 2 things will change, but as it stands, that was a huge bummer for me. Even with those critiques, I will say that I will gladly watch this movie again. There's so much in it that is easily missed, and there's so much more to say. From the world building, themes, colorful costumes and characters, amazing choreography, and all the talent behind and in front of the camera, Part 1 is something that needs to be seen on the big screen. So grab your broomstick or hop in a bubble and travel to the theater to see Wicked Part 1. Thanks. This is an OMM review. This is OMM signing out.